Why become a tutor? As for all the jobs out there, why would you consider becoming a tutor? I was asked this recently, and I think the best explanation I can give is this. Everyone goes to work for a reason. For most of us, it's to earn the money to pay the bills. For others, it's nothing more than to get out of the house, to meet people and pass the time of day. I admit that normally tutoring isn't up there with the wages of a solicitor, doctor or rocket scientist, but a good tutor can expect to earn a reasonable wage. Although any good tutor will expect an element of time preparing for the lesson, the wage can still be considered by most to be a respectable income. Most jobs offer either a respectable income but very little flexibility, or the flexibility but little more than the minimum wage. Yet tutoring does both. This means that tutoring as a second job in the evening or weekend is perfect, as that's when there is the highest demand. There are also an increasing number of children who are homeschooled, who require additional support in certain subjects during the day. Your diary is yours to set. You can decide in advance the hours you wish to work, and there is normally an element of give and take within this week by week. The flexibility continues with the capability to work from home. Providing you have a table and a room where you can be left in peace, tutoring is the perfect job to carry out at home. You will reduce your travel costs and time, which consequently increases your overall income. It also means that you have all the resources to hand, so if you have planned one thing but the student requires something different, you can easily adapt. Though, to be honest, I've never worked from home. I like to get out and about. I enjoy driving through the fantastic British countryside and visiting new places, but that's just my personal preference. I also believe that if the student is in their own familiar environment, it'll make them much more relaxed, which reinforces a state of mind which will encourage them to remember what they are taught. It also helps already busy parents fit the tutoring into their existing routine. I was asked if always doing the same thing with people gets boring. Yet I rarely do the same thing more than once or twice a week. I work with children from as young as 7 up to adults. The range of support needed, as you would imagine, is huge. I admit I play a range of games in most lessons, regardless of age, and if you read my book, Supporting Children with Reading and Spelling Difficulties, the reasons for this would become apparent. But in every other respect, every lesson is different. Every one of us is an individual. Consequently, every person we meet will be different. Some will be chatty, some will be quiet. Some will want to go back to the very basics of something. Others may have got an understanding of the basics, but can't get their head around some of the more complex ideas of the subject. I've shared lessons with cats, dogs, chickens, macaws, yet I would have to draw the line with a pet spider. I've sat on the floor of a house as the family has moved out. I've sat in the conference room of a rather stately home. I always use a range of resources depending on the wishes and needs of the student. I love this variety, and this brings me nicely on to the point that jobs where you can be this creative on a daily basis in the world of education, I suspect, are very limited. I can't draw and I'm not artistic, but this job has definitely allowed me to be more creative than any other job I've ever had, through thinking of games and activities we can do to keep the learning on track, but in a varied manner. Over the past few years, I've met some really fantastic people. I've met a whole range of people who need tutors for a remarkable range of reasons, but without fail, they have all been really lovely people. In fact, I would probably say that it has been these people that have made the job as enjoyable as it is, and you are never in any doubt that the effort you put in is completely appreciated. Another key element about tutoring is that you are able to enhance the knowledge and understanding of another person in the subject. Very often people will find a tutor because they don't understand a subject or an element of a subject. Quite possibly they have exams coming up or just need the support to get through everyday schooling or life. When they find this understanding, there is definitely a sense of pride and achievement that you have supported them in finding this knowledge and confidence. I think it's fair to say that if someone doesn't understand something, they don't normally enjoy it either. This is one of the reasons why I always use a range of games and other various activities. If you start to break down that feeling of dislike and resentment towards something, you're probably more susceptible to learning and acquiring your new knowledge. And seeing a new enthusiasm in someone for something that they previously loathed and couldn't see any point behind, I think is a great feeling for both tutor and tutee. Some people need a tutor's support to get them through an exam. For some, this qualification could change their lives. It could give them access into a university degree course to qualify for the job that they dream of, take promotion, continue with their education, or just to keep up with their peers. Whatever the reason, for many people this support could be life-changing. I once worked with a lady who wanted to return to university to undertake the training that she needed for a new job. Her first step was to go to the local college and sit a maths test to get her onto the Access course. She failed and was told that she wasn't likely to pass. She got in touch and asked for help. I've never seen anyone work as hard as she did that summer. At the end of the summer, she retook the exam and passed. I have so much great admiration for her and what she achieved in those few weeks. I've also found over the last few years that people get in touch and ask if you do the chunking method or partitioning or the grid method. This was completely new terminology to me when I started. I've also found that my own knowledge has increased greatly over the past few years of tutoring and other subjects as well. Children will often say they need to write a report in another subject. Can I help them? This then becomes an issue when you realise that you have no knowledge on that subject. So between you, it is necessary to find something to write. My history, geography and science have all improved dramatically. In 1999, when I first looked into doing a childcare and education qualification, carrying out a full-time teacher training course wasn't a realistic proposition, having 3 very young children under 5. But to be a tutor, you don't need to have a qualified teacher status, although a background in education is beneficial. As long as you have good subject knowledge and are able to support others in gaining this knowledge, you have the basic qualifications. Obviously, a DBS check is paramount to ensure that people are allowing suitable people into their home, especially when working with children. Many teachers love their role in supporting someone's learning, often for similar reasons to those that I have mentioned above. But in schools there is an increasing amount of bureaucracy and paperwork which detracts from the time you can spend preparing and supporting the children with their education. But there is no such bureaucracy here for tutors. There you go. Those are my own personal 12 reasons why I love my job as a tutor. Everyone will probably have different reasons. I'd be lying if I didn't say there are days when it's cold and dark and you just think, I can't be bothered. But isn't that the same in most jobs? Hand on heart, I can genuinely say I love my job. It's given my kids and I some great holidays and experiences through the money I earn as a tutor. I love the flexibilities and the fact that no 2 days are ever the same. I love the people I meet and the fact that I feel the work I do is genuinely appreciated and making a difference to someone's life. So, if tutoring could be for you, what happens next? I've recently created a manual for those who have read this far and still want to start tutoring, or for those who have started tutoring but are struggling to make their business thrive. There are many books on the market focusing on marketing your business and running a successful generic business, but my focus here is on the tutoring side of things, creating lesson plans, making the lesson both productive to the students as well as a learning and enjoyable experience. It's written for those who want to put the fun back into learning and who want to treat each and every student as an individual rather than just creating a conveyor belt system. Finally, it is written for those who are looking to use a range of resources and teaching styles. It's the manual I wish I had had when I started Starr Tutoring back in 2012. It covers such things as how you learn best, various learning styles, games, praise and rewards, learning plans, smart targets, formatting a lesson plan. It also goes into the more business side of things, such as writing your profile, marketing your business, creating a website, what to do when a potential tutee gets in touch for the first time, expenses you need to account for, who is your ideal market, what can you earn, how do you want to be paid, the importance of keeping in touch with those that you can't help, school holidays, keeping organised, building relationships. If you think this could be for you, then why not click on the link below.